What's up, y'all? It's your man, That Dude, bringing you guys another video. So like many of you, my team did not make the playoffs, so I'm in the market to look for a team to root for during the playoffs. Now, I do want to say, if you're a fan of a team that did make the playoffs, I hate you and I wish you and your team nothing but misery. But for the rest of us, the rest of y'all out there, I think we should pick a team to root for during the playoffs because it just makes the games more enjoyable if you have a rooting interest. Now, of course, you can watch the games just for the pure enjoyment of the sport with no rooting interest and still have a good time, but it's more fun if you're riding the highs and lows of a team's performance and you just have someone to get behind or to root for, a story to root for. And so I think for all of you like me who don't have a team to root for in the playoffs this year, you should root for the Seattle Seahawks and Geno Smith specifically, because the Geno Smith story is the kind of story that we think sports is all about. Like the guy who was just down and out, when he first got into the league, he was drafted to the Jets, didn't have any success, didn't play very well, was on a bad team, had his jaw broken by a teammate, which pretty much cost him his last chance at a starting job when he was with the Jets. He goes to, I think, the Giants after that. He replaces Eli Manning. The fans revolt against him for replacing Eli Manning. He's had, I don't want to say up and down career, very much just a down career. And to see how he's performed this year in Seattle, it's just inspiring. The guy has been a legitimate good quarterback this year. And I think he led the league in completion percentage. If not, he was pretty high on the list. Like 30 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. The guy has had a really good year. He has earned an extension from the Seattle Seahawks to be their starter for their foreseeable future. Like, the guy has played that good this year, and I don't believe anybody before the season started. I don't believe anybody in the country or the world besides Geno's mother thought he was capable of this. Like, I surely didn't. I don't know any analyst or expert on TV who thought he was capable of this. I just don't think anybody saw this coming. Like, a lot of people were predicting that he wouldn't even beat out Drew Lock for the starting job. Well, look at him now. He beat out Drew Lock for the starting job. He legitimately played well this year, well enough to earn a contract with the Seahawks to be their starter going forward. He made the Pro Bowl, and not as just some alternate or somebody who got in because another player didn't want to go. No, he was a legitimate Pro Bowl quarterback this year. The Geno Smith story has been great this year. That is something to root for. And besides Geno, I do think that now that Russell Wilson is gone, the Seahawks are a fairly likable team. I've always liked Steve Carroll. I think he's a good coach. Even the colors of the uniforms are good. DK Metcalf, I like his personality as a receiver. I like watching him play. Tyler Lockett, how can you not root for the little speedy slot receiver? They have some players on their defense that you root for, Quandre Diggs, and Jamal Adams. Like, they have guys on their team that you root for, and I think they're all around. They're a young team, but a team that's up and coming now that they have a quarterback. And I think that there's something you can root for. Like, they are going to be an underdog in this playoffs. They only barely made the playoffs because the Lions beat the Packers. So it's not like there's some juggernaut where, before in the past, especially as a Panthers fan, the Seahawks always seem like some kind of juggernaut team. They're not that anymore. They are really an underdog. They barely got into the playoffs. They are not expected to go far. So there's someone you should be able to root for if your team didn't make the playoffs. Unless you're like a Rams fan or a Cardinals fan, I don't see why you have a reason to not root for the Seahawks. I think they are a very likable team, and Geno Smith especially is very likable. It was just his story and how he's overcome so much and how he's had a resurgence in his career. They are someone you can root for. Now, that's just in the NFC. Well, for the whole playoffs, I'm rooting for the Seahawks. Like, the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, I'd be happy for them, and it would give me a measurement of happy as well. In the AFC, it's the Chiefs. Like, root for the Chiefs. If you don't want to root for the Seahawks, if you want to pick an AFC team to root for, the Chiefs. That's it. It's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey and Andy Reid. Like, I think the Chiefs, despite being so good for the past 5-6 years and having the best quarterback in the league and the best tight end in the league and maybe the best, or, Belichick was standing, maybe the best coach in the league. Like, I think the Chiefs are still somehow likable, mostly because of Mahomes and Kelsey. I think they're both likable dudes. So, if you don't want to root for the Seahawks, or if you just have to pick an AFC team to root for, it's the Chiefs. Easy choice. You probably won't be let down. because the Chiefs are almost guaranteed to at least make the AFC Championship game, while the Seahawks probably lose in the wild card round. I mean, they have a chance to, win. Obviously, anybody has a chance any given Sunday. But there's a good chance they lose in the wild card round and you'll be stuck picking another team next week. With the Chiefs, I mean, you're almost guaranteed to be rooting for a team that's going to make the AFC Championship game and probably the Super Bowl because they're the Chiefs. But if you want to root for a story, you want to root for a good comeback story in Geno Smith, it's the Seahawks hands down. That's who I'm rooting for. That's the game I'm most excited to watch Sunday. And yeah, if you are a fan of a team that didn't make the playoffs like me, I know there's a lot of us out there, a lot of us who were disappointed in what our teams did this year. Pick up the Seahawks. Root for them. I think you'll have a good time. That's all I have for you in this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go hit that button. If you are so inclined, subscribe and leave a comment. I respond to almost everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one.